Welcome to the Riders Lounge. Today I'm with my good pal, and I know that I throw this word around a lot, legend, but Gigi's a legend.
Thank you.
And Gigi just came off Whitewater, just got him down from the mountain. And yeah, this one's a long time coming. We've been back and forth, emailing a ton all season. Lots to talk about with Gigi.
Oh yeah.
But of course, we're gonna start with the most recent thing. You were the wild card for NST.
Yeah.
So let's start there, because everybody just watched it. Essentially third place, right?
Yeah, I made it all the way to finals.
Dude, you rode so well. I was screaming at the TV at times. It was awesome, though. It was awesome. It's like,
yeah, the aftermath, there's a lot of good pictures and content, and it's hard to almost digest it myself. It's like all the positive input, you know, feedback you get.
Well, the format's wild.
It's got nailed down to go aggressive all the way to the coffin nail.
It really is. Like, there's no
down.
taking your foot off the gas with that event, hey?
Yeah.
So your first run up top, you know, you've just seen Cicerelli, you've just seen a ton of guys go down. Yeah. How much scoping did you get beforehand of that? Was it just photos in the war room type thing?
Much better photos than there were on the wall for Supernatural like 10 years ago.
So yeah, so everybody knows.
And yeah, I mean, Travis seems to pass the link on like just the day in the morning of the competition. He's like, oh, here, by the way, there's a link for better pictures.
Yeah, so everybody knows Gigi has actually competed in all of these events. So we go all the way back to 2012 when they were hosted at BALDFACE. And that year, did you not?
2008 was Jackson Hole natural selection.
Yes, that's right, the very first.
Yeah, in Casper Bowl. And what's that fun round, the Terrier Hip, the entrance? What's it called again?
Oh, come on, we should know this.
Yeah, just natural halfpipe at Wyoming.
Yeah.
That's where it started, and there's still a lot of people in the crew of NST that already helped back then.
No way.
Yeah.
So your first time so the first BALDFACE one was 2012?
For me, the first BALDFACE, generally, the Red Bull signature.
That's right, yeah. And that was called Supernatural, I think, at that point. And that, did you not win that one?
Selection.
Did you not win the first one?
No, second.
It was Nico. Was it Nico?
No, it was Travis winning his contest. It was Nico telling me, this is the honest truth, he tell me like, we can't do any better, like you pretty much won. I got second, he got third. Well, you know,
and then
way of expressing
the next year, 13.
Did it.
And
Nico got second.
That's what it was.
First.
That's what it was. Awesome.
All the talk is on.
No, but
big airs. So natural selection, and quite the success.
Well, and Gigi's been coming to the Kootenays a lot. So I first met you when I got hired by Justin to go do the session for Optimistic.
Yeah.
And this is the session where Gigi is riding all the mountain bike walls that were built up above us here.
You had snowmobiles. You brought us up.
Yep.
Like, were we even like towing?
I think we were towing a few of us, and that was an old run. I believe the Borden brothers built that all up. So
I went then on in sessions some more with Sylvain Bourbusson. Yeah,
right,
did some over/under maneuvers.
That footage is great. So it's, I mean, I've had the board here. Gigi left us. Gigi left us this back in the day, which was damn cool. And this has been on the wall.
Dedicated it. Always gotta have a Rolling Stone.
Got the Absinthe crew in here. Yeah.
Inge Penga. Oh, that means that's Swedish for no money. I wrote this in AK2 because.
Did you bring this back maybe when you came back through?
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
Oh, I had these DVS stickers.
The 07, Year of the Pig.
07, Year of the Pig.
So this kind of let's segue into some history, because that's obviously a Burton on Ink board. You were a big part of that crew.
Yeah.
You know, when you decided to part ways, everybody did at the same time, basically. You know, DCP went that way, JP, everyone, Romain, everybody kind of went their own way. What was your process of like, okay, I'm leaving the big dog. What am I going to do now?
No. It was a handover for me. It was I was during the option year, which means it's that I could get offers in to get be bought out of an existing contract. Like there's that option if Burton would not be able to match it, and that happened through Volcom because Volcom put in the movie budget for 9191, and Burton would not give me a movie, so went over to Volcom. So that's that lead time. Before Slash, created Slash in 2012, and from 2009, which was the last year of UNinC, to 2012, I wrote my contract out with Volcom. Yeah.
And you had a Volcom board. I remember you
Well,
had.
I don't know, because that was the breaking factor. Did Longo and me get, and Arthur Longo and me get actually the board, or did Breezy on Cavida or Cleveland on Nitro get that board? And I was asking that question, like what is up? Like we will never get the Volcom boards off the ground because there's other brands making it, and when I tell them, well, I'm gonna make my own boards with all the ideas I had for Volcom boards.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, sell them in their own shop.
Yeah.
You know, only get the Volcom boards there. And they replied, well, is there gonna be a Volcom stone on the base? And then I said, like, not necessarily. And then they cut my marketing contract in half because there was no more logo visibility, which is also, that's to the answer of what, Breezy had going with Volcom. It was all about exposure.
Wow, wow.
And I was the exposure champion during Burton times consecutively for 5 or 6 years.
Absolutely you were.
Totally get the picture.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Oh, that's
that
cool.
was the
So
work
that was
ethic.
that was the
showing.
start of Slash then. You finally were just like, okay, I'm gonna manufacture it because your
So
board
it was
design.
a conscious decision to leave, like, back to Burton. I mean, that's all my, heart and soul. We put into UNinC. And previously, before, it was Seven who actually got me into the global team of Burton.
Yep.
Fully just core aimed jobs sort of values, writer-driven values, and such that Burton sort of elevated me into this career.
Yeah. Well, and as a retailer, like for us,
Also,
the 7 series and then the UNinC series were some of the best selling we ever had from Burton, period. But you guys were such a powerful force, like Craig and the crew that were the original, like Duck Boy, Jacoby, that crew. The UNinC crew was
the
like...
The OG global team was a hard nut to crack. And it was the
you guys were like this next wave of that.
Yeah, because we could make writer-driven, boards. And there's always superstars like Haken and Michael Chuck at that time. Like, how could you? And the Olympics just became a thing. Like '97 is when I was put on Burton to make 7.
No way.
Yeah, and all 7 riders, which was Chris Brown, Sonny Alibabik, 2 Japanese riders. One of them is Uwe Omero, who does things now, really interesting shapes and boards, and I stayed, true to that.
Trevor was on back then.
Jason Brown, obviously.
Jason Brown,
and
before
Jeffy
Capita.
Anderson.
Yeah. Wow, man.
And so we got the rider-driven part of, and working hard means, we took over the spots of, the global team, and especially we should not leave unmentioned Roman, who definitely was on the verge, which is why it is the pig logo on UNinC is we basically, Roman could have a pro model, but he sticked with us. He had the choice next to UC having a pro model. Yeah. And he opted for coming on the UNinC team. But we were not getting per diem paid on a pro model. We got prime marketing placement. That's what we were asking for. And doing our own ads, doing our own boards. So everything was kind of like, wouldn't say apprenticeship, but it was a carte blanche. Carte blanche. Lots of experience during those years. I mean, we held through, a product cycle is 3 years. And then you have to sort of reinvent something. At least that's how it was. Nowadays the wheels are turning. And having my own company, think about, you know, product cycles. And I tried to think back that someone was saying, yeah, we already are touching on the third time where we need to reinvent. But the missing piece and the breaking factor for us as writers at UNinC was ultimately we did not get to make a movie.
Yeah.
You know, to
True enough,
promote.
HEADWEAR had a few of you guys out together, but it was never the entire.
Yeah,
it was never the
it was
entirety.
like Roman's expression in, like, you know, Vivid, where, you know, we took control of our own, you know, marketing value, and we're just, yeah, we're considering a team. It's something when during that breakup, then going to Volcom was, I can do myself, you know, like I don't really, I should not, like it's my wife who told me this. Snowboarding is not a team sport. Really gotta, at some point, gotta look after, you know, yourself. And it's always been the measurement to what are the others doing. We've, you know, there's so much been going into UNinC that we all learned so much and took it on our own.
Yeah,
way.
I was really proud to be a part of, like, you know, as a retailer, we were then passing this on to the consumer base and telling the story of you guys. And
that's what we did today, actually. That's why I'm still in the gear, passing on to the youth, the kids.
We've got this young guy, Olin, right?
Yeah.
Olin's on Slash.
Riding
and
the kids' boards.
He's just awesome.
Yeah,
He
we were
is so
slipping and
awesome.
sliding and
Good.
having fun today.
Yeah, check our Instagram for little Olin. He's pretty rad. He did Roberts.
Yeah, the whole family is amazing.
The Turners, man. Yeah. No, they're great. Well, let's segue into Gigi's here. Gigi also rides for Union. You ride for Dragon 686, and Dragon.
Oh, I got my own 9191 clothing here.
There we go. Yeah.
So it's called the ATV line.
How many years with Dragon? Because we've done Dragon since day one upstairs. I've been with Dragon 21 years.
20 years for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's
probably
awesome.
21 year when I got the first DX, but they right away gave me a pro model. So I got like 20 pro models with them. This
I've been really
this is the
stoked
next
to-
year's one. I'm
This
highlighting
is rad.
Slash.
Yeah.
It's the PXV. It goes with the magnet. It just pops out real nice. And one thing I would have in my pocket would be this big Revolt. This is like when we go filming now, a pack lighter than ever, but we call it ammunition. You bring a few goggles to get the shot.
Because you're going fast,
And-
right? So you can't have
this
anything
is-
stall you.
Yeah, this is put away when
Good
in
man.
between runs.
Yeah. Keeping your lenses warm, less fogging issues,
Yeah.
and keeping the temperature on both sides is what's key. That's often where the fogging comes from, different temperature on either side.
Yeah.
But those have always, especially that model's been really good. The top venting is killer. Yeah. Well, let's get
Definitely.
into, well, actually,
my clothing. Hey,
Yeah,
check
let's get
this
into
out.
it.
I was just wanting to safety first. We got a card in here. And
and is that next year's jacket?
You want to see something new?
That would be next year's, wouldn't
That
it?
is next year's.
Yeah, that's next
You want
year's.
to see something new? I'm still on some prototypes.
Okay, this one's going to be quick. You guys have seen a few flashes of this.
These are the full weapons. They probably helped me.
Gigi rode those at NST.
Yeah. These are good. It's got
Oh,
some
man.
stirrups.
I'm looking
definitely some power
forward to
transmission with this.
full review of those coming soon. But
And I was
we'll get
riding
into
this
that.
board.
Let's
I'm going to
get
show my
this
baggy
guy
pants
up
here.
So
This is
right
the board I
away,
rode.
you guys know me. I'm all about the ultras, and of course that was
Surfy feel.
because of Gigi.
I had a lucky sticker on there. Few lucky sticker. Got
So
me
were
third
you the
place.
reason they didn't put forward lean on these?
Because of the suspended flex here. You have like basically a rubber window that's this size. I should show it maybe on here.
Yeah.
This is a suspended part, and it actually delivers the torque you want.
And when you're
And
pressing
still
back
keep it-
against it,
yeah.
it's like,
It definitely is a preload.
yeah.
You're in there, and are we talking chivers now? Like we're talking about
Well,
surfy.
I mean,
feel.
I use these for carving.
yeah.
I run this binding on a super stiff board.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it just gives me the suspension
Yeah.
feel, and it just powers in and out really well because of the base plate.
I go by the thought of having soft bindings and sort of soft boots is less stress on the knees as
Yeah,
well, and
100%.
landing flat. and that's why I like camber board, which the ATV is here. We have one actually that's totally unstickered, but yeah, I hope you like my sticker job. Did for the
Always,
nature
buddy.
selection. And yeah, quite like big radius on the contact points, going into a singular radius. And that's what makes it really turn nice.
And what size are you riding?
This is 57.
57,
And I had
yep.
to just recently, going by the new boots that I'm wearing, I had to bring in the heel cup. They're like half of size smaller on the
Well, because
footprint.
the shell of those new Unions is much smaller,
much
which
smaller,
is going to be
and
great.
the binding also is incorporated because they're binding makers, and this binding has like a real cushion, and you don't need that height. I mean, I have not gotten cold toes in this.
Yeah, see,
boot
that's a
either,
really good point,
because
Gigi.
there's
Yeah.
no stitching, there's no threads that pull the water inside the
That's a
boot.
good point, man.
Yeah, and but this is actually the board that I'm standing on, and this is awesome. And try to update the ATV to something that, yeah, nobody would copy,
Yeah.
because it's basically a straight line, but with the 3D dog ears, it becomes the notch again. Looked at it from different sides. It's, you know, I deliver the shape. Sometimes I start just by cutting it out of paper and having it sit around.
Well,
a
you've
while.
always had unique nose and tails, even going back to the straight. Like the first year I sold your boards.
It's identity
Yeah.
by a silhouette. It
Yeah.
should almost just
Well, and
work.
like surfing, right? Surfers, same thing. You know, the early boards, everything was identity by silhouette, for sure. Yeah.
And yeah, that's, I mean, we have just a simple graphic on the base. And next year's one is going to have a bit of a different base, but just in tone.
So you guys will notice too, Gigi's running this fairly centered, obviously because you were riding. This is the stance you rode at Natural Selection, pretty much.
Yeah, the board comes with the half-inch setback, which is 1.3.
And are you on that
centimeters.
reference?
No, I reference to me, and you gotta understand that when a reference is just a reference. It's not like
We talk about this a lot. Yeah, we talk about this a lot.
It's like the counting. Each insert is spread 2 centimeters apart. It's a 2x4
Yep.
insert, and you can even adjust the binding. So what I do, I would measure from the point, outside point where the toe buckle is, to the nose to see that I'm like fairly, like maybe a centimeter longer in the nose from that point, because you take away from your bindings, takes away from your nose, so you got to bring it in.
Yep.
So this one has it, the ATV model of Slash has it already like drilled in like this, so it's ready out of the box.
Very cool. And stance angles, what's your back foot?
On this board, on the ATV, I go 0 in the back, 15 in the front, because we were hitting a lot of moguls and
Yep.
transfer jumps.
Yep.
When I rode it at NST, I was +3, +18.
Good
so
man.
that's a bit
Yep.
like choice between park and free riding.
Yep. No, that posi on the back really, you can see, I mean, your heel slash is one of the best, and
I
it's
cannot
'cause
even slash in my own mind, but what comment slash? I mean, look at volume. So I'm really
it looks
dusting it
good,
up.
man. It looks good.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, it does.
I did not know that was actually there. But
I
with
always
the-
say
with
that
the
that's because, you know, any of the guys that are running -15 will never be able to get the shoulder power around to whip your tail, right?
The thing in riding resort is also it opens up your hips to look more around you.
right.
Yeah, your shoulders more forward.
Yeah.
And then you have the other board, my freeride board. If you start landing off cliffs, it's gonna be like you trust you on the front foot. You can ride in a committed position.
Yep.
And the nose just takes it because it's such a hull. Let's look at it. Where is the vertical midge?
Oh yeah, grab a beer.
Which one is a nice one?
Yeah, that's a sponsor, so totally you can drink.
It's the weekend. Yeah.
And Gigi, so we don't lose train of thought on just your dynamics of what you ride. What's your stance width usually?
I ride between 52 and 54.
So in inches, we're gonna have to figure that out because
Yeah, what does it say?
see-
52 is 21.3.
there we go. Perfect.
21.3, but I would go down to even 21.
And Gigi looks to be 5'9".
173 3 centimeters.
Yeah, and how
No,
heavy
maybe
are you?
8. I should say, maybe I'm not lying.
No,
Maybe
you're
I'm
like
lying.
5'9", I'm 5'8"-ish.
Yeah,
Ish. I don't know. He's
se-
taller than me,
7,
I know
8.
that much.
Metric.
But a narrower
metrical barriers
stance.
here.
A narrower stance than I thought you would ride, which is cool.
Yeah, it got into that
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah.
and it's probably also owed to the lower foot profile. I would
Of
even
those
get
boots,
I
yeah.
would get on the ATV like that size, 59 wide. That Mitch is mounted there. Yeah, a little bit wide,
Mm-hmm.
but I also used to ride this one in the powder,
Yep.
just more
That's-
volume.
That's my next question. So in powder, are you now, like with this board, for example, are you now setting yourself further back? Are you running long nose with this one?
I'm trying to run short nose because if you look
Oh.
at this board, it's a vertical model, and it's a free ride board. Update from the original Slashcraft Straight.
Yeah, the
that,
Straight, which
that
was
I
our bestseller.
Successful with at the
Yeah.
Supernatural and
Yep.
Ultranatural. This is the upgrade from it, and so the concept of the Straight is, and that's why it's got its name, no taper. It's a freestyle platform with a directional shape.
No taper.
No taper and no round nose and tail.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
Supermodel would have been.
Yeah.
It's actually a gun, ultimately. It goes up to 76, inside 176. And I'm riding between 61 and 57.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a different choice. In Japan, I just recently rode just the
6'1".
No, this.
You went-
57.
You went
I'm so bad
smaller.
with numbers. I went really small because of the tight trees and bushes, and it
yeah.
worked, especially with my angle on the freeride board. On the freeride terrain in general is posy.
Yeah, me
When
too.
I'm on the
Yeah.
park board, I tend to
Zero,
go
maybe.
0, 15.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the 54 centimeters, which are 21.3 inch apart on the bindings. And you were asking about the setback. Here's
Yeah.
the center of the board, and there's 4 centimeters setback already. And what can confuse you on the vertical is we added 7 packs of inserts.
So you can get that back.
So there's a float
further.
insert
Yeah,
built
yeah.
in. That's that option, because the sizes of the vertical starts on the 51, 57, 61, and 65. Yeah, 67. Yeah.
Yeah.
all the
And
way.
then when you're doing core profiling of this board, are you thinking a softer nose, stiffer tail, or are you pretty balanced on this? Because you still have that freestyle attribute to everything
yeah,
you
it's a
do.
stiffer tail. It's a directional flex.
Yeah.
And with this board, the camber just does it. In the front,
Yeah, it
we
would
have
just drop you,
a
hey?
3D hull. The camber is coming down all the way to the kick of the nose, but what eliminates the 3D here is back to the straight update.
Yep.
Eliminates the taper, because this is the width where the 3D meets, and the effective edge is marked by these black areas.
Cool.
Is the same width as the tail, so no taper.
Oh, very
From
cool.
here on, it's a little wider and has a little bit of taper, so that's a selling point, right? Like, even if it's just 3, 4, 5, 7 millimeters on both combined, both sides.
It often gives the consumer the idea that the tail's going to settle down easier and drop
yeah. This
easier.
one is like holding steady in traverses and
Yeah.
spots to
Wants
put the
some
tail
big
in
landings.
on harder hard pack in resort riding. It comes in, and you can still, like what I like to do, and that's why I made dog ears on the ATV, is use that 3D and just butter into stuff and lose a lot of speed.
Yeah.
Probably just am about the slowest snowboarder on the mountain. I just look fast. That's my theory.
It keeps
Oh,
it
yeah,
keeps
it
it
keeps it
stylish.
playful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
it's a added function. The
Well, and I
3D.
like a stiff tail just for if you are landing a cliff or anything like that, and you know how we always are a little bit back, it just will
It's the
correct
Tom
you.
Bird, where it's front foot
Tom
heavy.
Bird.
It's commitment. You can
Yeah.
already be ready for the next turn if you're not backslapping.
Yeah.
If you backslap, you're getting up, you lose a lot of time to navigate.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why that is for. This board, trusty nose. The stance, yeah, it is quite front heavy, because I see it as a freestyle board still, in a way.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
If you look at it, compare it.
Well, let's grab this other one that I was on, because Mitch dropped a few of these off for me.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's get into this
the
guy.
full collection.
So I had a few of these, and this was the only one I ended up out on. Super overcast day, one of the earlier days at Salmo with some good pow. But this board's a blast, man. But I went full, I went all the way back seat.
Oh, no way.
I went all the way in the back, rode
do you
this
even
thing.
get the full, yeah.
So I'm activating, I still have the camber, but I went all my body weight back here to just have nose, because it was heavy snow.
Okay.
And this thing was a champ in that stuff. Like, it was
Do you
really,
have, like,
really
a
good.
structure grinded on it? No. It needs, yeah, definitely. Nice wax, Midge. Definitely. No, it jams.
This really performed well.
It's a stiff board, I'd say.
Yeah.
If you put the pressure on the right spot, where you trust it, and that goes in general on each and every board, is
Well, you can see where the Carbon X is built into the nose,
we have
which
some
this thing,
transparency.
you really, even though I was all the way back here, it's still carved really well. But I'll do that. So I run a 30-degree front foot posi 9 on this thing. So I was treating it a little bit like a Karua bullet train or something like that in the powder, right? Really trying to tuck knee, Craig style.
Yeah, and it drove well.
Yeah, and this side cut radii was great. What is the side cut on this?
It's a singular side cut, about like 8.3 meter.
Yeah, that's
So
I love
quite
8 between 8 and 5.
Yeah. Oh man, that makes me happy. Yeah, this floater is definitely one that can I can tell something about, because it is a twin board. It doesn't have any setback. I mean, you have to float the insert.
Maybe that's why I pushed myself so far back then.
But you end up, if you follow the reference stance, you end up in like
it's a twin.
not the perfect situation. Maybe. Well, you can be all over and just find your perfect position. But yeah, it's a twin board, which means a nose and tail is the same stiffness, and also the inserts are in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's very front heavy. If you run that many degrees, yeah, you need to go way back.
I was way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good looking out.
Yep. And ultras on this thing. No, this board was a blast, and I think
Cool.
for a lot of BC snowboarders, Washington, us West Coast guys, this would be a
it's also
really fun model.
mid-wide.
Yeah.
It's not a wide, labeled wide. What kind of boot size? You're 8?
I'm an 8, so carving on this was no problem, because I won't boot out with those kind of angles.
There's also a 61 existing of this one.
Cool.
And a 53 actually.
Yeah.
53 is a bit of a pocket dart, a scabber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scabber.
Uh-huh.
That's good terminology. No, this one was a sleeper. I just really liked the nose geometry you made there, and I was like, that's the one I got to try.
Yeah. Nice.
Very cool board.
Yeah, it's the original floater, which also Manuel rode a lot.
No way.
Diaz, yeah, he was on that one if he wasn't on the Brainstorm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So who now is on the Slash team?
Well, we have Jeff Brown here in Canada.
Yeah.
And lots of Skrill tribe floating around.
Ambassadors all over, yeah.
Yeah, and Sindre Tveiten from Norway. He's
Cool.
on the, doing World Cups and Euro Cups. Park Machine. On that same sort of style comes in Matty Cox. He used to ride for Rome. He does stuff. He's also testing, other boards and reviewing them, making a pro life.
Yeah.
And in Australia, we have Josh Robertson. We have my kids, the whole family. Have me on the team.
That's awesome.
And the Austrians, Raffin, Rowley, some, local shreds. Japan, we have Yuta, Kobayashi. It's been, filming, riding a lot in Hakuba.
Right on.
Eel restaurant. So, lots of good people. The kids team is on the come up eventually, because kids are the future.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And then, we've already gone.
We have Martina Roll. Who else do we have as girls? Martina Roll, Julia, like some freeride challenger girls on the team as well. Yeah, this is pretty much
the last
what's holding up the whole route of Slash. we have the original shape of what used to be also the ATV at the beginning, which we could actually pull out as a secret offer. Happy place, hybrid camber, lifted nose and tail, camber between the feet, twin again, so centered stance, just reference stance, no recommendations.
Yes, good.
Look for your own stance. And yeah, same nose and tail flex. We have difference for the updated ATV is we have a progressive side cut, which means it goes in increments and has many other radius, where it's, you know, driving a bit, yeah, into turns, where it's really fun on a singular radius to actually just put it on edge.
Well, we're used to
so
that
this one
because of
is
the
more-
era, right? Our era, the single radii for our era is just like, it's home. I always feel good on
It's coming
that.
back. There's
Yeah.
definitely some people hammering the slopes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I like to see that. Which with the Happy Place, it's yeah, entry level
softer.
board, park board.
Yeah.
I could say. I just didn't want to restrict it with the name and label of a park board and start calling the Happy Place, and it's become really the household for or the slash snow.
Right on, Gigi.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I do recognize this shape from the
Yeah,
early
and you can see
early
these are the
models.
manifests. It's showing some transitions and park element. We have a full carbon bonds in here, and yeah, it's
Right
also
on.
solid, right? Very proven.
And are you centered bases across the board?
Yeah, even all the way down to the kids' boards.
Good man.
Yeah, no
That's
compromise.
awesome.
Yeah,
Good.
they have no weight. Like I have no weight.
Yeah.
It's sometimes helpful to have the best of materials
Just
under your feet.
more speed, more speed,
Yeah,
more speed.
yeah.
Yep. I know us smaller guys.
And
we
yeah,
need
no die
anything.
cuts because, you know, just two different materials meet. It's going down to that
Yeah.
nucleus.
Cool.
Yeah. Can I show you the Happy Place Camber edition?
Yes.
Which is really fun
Is that
project.
the one we put right here?
My full line is called Blank now. We just cooked it down to the broth. They're running under the top art edition. And then we have also the design drop. And aren't they kind of nice match? You see what we are doing here? We're not forgetting where we're coming from. And,
That's awesome.
Yeah, the boards with the notch, they just don't fall over like, oh, they were only round boards back then. And this is definitely a bit of the same theme about how UNinC was started. Money always since then wanted like cartoon characters. And
This
who better than
graphic, man. I
Scrooge?
love this graphic.
Yeah. And when the challenge I put on myself working with the artist on this, which he laid out all perfect, we added his name, Thumbs, his tag right there, was how to make the base look so it works on a method for goofy and regular riders. It's always a tragedy. You have like slash to be written there. That's how I solved it.
Oh, cool.
Just all over print. I think this one is cool because only after I saw that these weasels are in the car, it looks like they just peeled out. So
That's
fun
awesome
to create
doing it
a board.
vertically like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get
Little
that
matrix
up there.
style.
And so you can see it there, Morrison.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the full collection of Slash Snowboards. Family business.
Right on,
From
Gigi.
Austria.
Yeah. So you talk a lot about bringing up the young kids. We get a lot of young guys that watch the show too. What are some of your, like, what advice do you have for those up and comers now? Like I was part of that early movement. You got to be a part of the second movement. You know, now there's all these up and coming kids from Olin to whoever,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, with Olin being 9, I just want to say I definitely observed that with 6 to 7 years old, the kids are just putting on that weight to have an edge on that mountain.
yeah.
Before that, you learn skiing, learn about how the lift works,
yeah,
you know, how to be friendly
totally.
to the resort.
But the
and
kids that are
getting
looking
around.
to get sponsored and the
Yeah,
kids like
so the
that, you had to
13-year-olds,
navigate,
yeah,
right?
my son is 13-year-old, and you know, he's looking for a future in snowboarding. That's pressure on. Got to keep Slash going and
Yeah.
involve him in all sorts of level, like the companies that sponsored me do, and it's, you know, it's probably not easy to recommend or have a plan of how to get sponsored. It's like I said, probably just be a friendly person out there, meet people, and yeah, see where you get, you know, next free beanie or sticker or something, and
Well, just
keep
being
at
part
it
of-
and
yeah.
get free shit all the time.
Be
Just
part of
look
that
out for
local
that.
scene. You're part of your local scene.
Yeah.
That kind of evolves through
Yeah.
shops and through everything
Yeah.
like that. Did you ride
can
for a
happen.
shop back in the day? Was
Yeah,
that your
and
first sponsor?
Yeah, and little did I know what in the background it was a distributor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, one of the first Volcom distributors, bringing in new brands into Austria.
Yep.
So quite like, visionary. He also brought like mountain biking, paragliding, which ultimately was his demise. He crashed on a paraglider
Oh, no.
and was in hospital. And he had an apprentice, maybe 19 years old, Mark Eiser, and he had his ticket, and him would go, but since he had the accident, he could not go. But he sent me as a 13-year-old to the Las Vegas trade show.
Those,
San
and
Diego.
those trade
Oh, yeah.
shows were nuts.
Yeah.
Those were nuts.
Actually, it was
back
not
the
in
day.
Las Vegas, it was in San Diego, pardon me.
Okay.
Oh,
Those were
yeah.
a little more chill, but still, at 13,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty full on.
So I met all the people from Volcom early on.
Oh, so that was
yeah.
Volcom your first sponsor?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, Gigi, that's rad.
Yeah,
That's
why
rad.
it's called 91. I started snowboarding 91 and Volcom started.
Very
so it's
cool,
always
man.
been the chase for that free beanie.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's a really cool story. So, when did you get on Burton?
That was 94-ish,
Yeah.
5-ish. Yeah, I was, 2-3 years.
And then
I
when
did-
was Nike?
That was after Burton. I already rode Nike boots during Volcom.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that
I
would have
was-
been
I was Union and
2011?
Nike. No, 2010, and I had
Yeah.
like gotten the Volcom Signal prototype board that
Yep.
with the red base.
I
You
remember
know, all
seeing
that
that
story
board.
with,
Yep.
and you know that Billy connected there with like when Craig got from Sims to Burton, he was on that prototype and he thrown that one in there. Now all the Karua look the same, so they kind
But
of took that.
Gigi, yeah, the
that
Gigi's
sentiment.
base was just red. Yeah, I remember that board. Yeah.
Yeah, dark red base, and yeah, it
Oh,
was
that's
it was
rad.
that time,
Yeah.
and more so important is to know that definitely it's changed from Burton and changed also the bindings and the boots. Didn't stick with the old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you completely, everything was
yeah,
new.
yeah,
everything was new.
new, full commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Well, then
stoked.
I'm still chasing
Definitely
those
stoked.
Nike boots, though. I still chase those on
Yeah.
eBay.
Nice.
They were that
The
good.
Luna Endor, yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely started with my Quick Strike boot when they started using solid toe caps.
Yep.
That's what's up.
Well, that's what excites me about
Made the boot, the structure so much
Yeah.
better. Having solid toe cap, no stitching.
I'm excited the new Union boot's going to have a little bit of that old feel that I remember from that Nike stuff. I'm hoping. I haven't tried them on yet, but
It's a different feel being in these boots. It's it's definitely more direct. Even though there's, I would say, some mobility from like army infantry sort of boot style, like fabrics. There's ripstop in the front, which wears in right nicely.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
yeah.
I'm just stoked you wore them in natural selection too.
Oh
Like,
man,
that's
I'm not taking them off, as you can see.
Yeah, you really put those to the
Yeah.
test. No, that's super cool.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's something I've been waiting for 3-4 years
Yeah.
to happen.
Yeah. No, that
Did not
boot, the
pick
boot
up any
development.
other sponsors, even though I gotta definitely say big up to Deluxe. They hooking up my boy and sending him stuff, and
Those guys
so-
make great boots too.
Yeah,
Yeah, they really
yeah.
do. Well,
yeah, definitely.
right on, Gigi.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
they're behind
stoked.
this boot as well and everything. And it's
Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm stoked we were able to steal you from Whitewater's riding today.
Oh, and Valhalla, I gotta
and
give a
Valhalla
shout
he was
out.
at yesterday. Hopefully Mitch is in the background there, can dump some footage for us of Gigi shredding
Riding Jeff
Valhalla.
Pensiero's Valhalla.
Well, so that's a
Rim.
perfect segue for me right now, because we are brought to you by Baldface Lodge, Cole Headwear, This Is Coffee, James Brand Knives.
Nice. Rob Sprague.
Oh yeah,
Shout out.
Stoke the Fire Hot Sauce, and we have Nelson Brewing Company as always. So, Yeah, Gigi, anything in closing? Anything else about the
So
brand?
much-
About what,
oh,
you know, you're headed?
Yeah, keep supporting Slash. No, go right. Yeah, it's a wonderful country, Canada. I really gotta say, each and every day.
I'm stoked you
it's-
came back,
it's
man.
Such a pillow fest out there. I'm just getting the best out of March right now. So, yeah, I hope you do too.
That's awesome. Well, again, friends, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.